Hey, Power Moves family. Welcome to Power Moves Raw Conversation. Tonight, we got a dynamic panelist for you from the South to the North. Ladies, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Linnell. I live in Los Angeles and I'm a therapist.
Hey, I'm in Vegas, y'all. How you doing?
Hey, I'm Cheyenne, and I'm in Sacramento, and I'm an education assistant.
So, tonight, we are going to have a real raw conversation with you guys about the interaction we as Black people have with ourselves, with peers, with the world, and how those interactions shape our self-esteem, which causes us to heal or not heal. We're going to kick this off with a common thing we hear all the time: code switching and having, that strong personality. So, Linnell, I'm going to bring it to you first. Have you ever encountered code switching? Do you code switch? Have you ever heard the strong personality and the different forms you hear it in the workplace?
Yes, I have. I've heard it a lot, actually. For those of you guys that know me, I do have a very, very strong personality. But in the workplace, it's viewed as being aggressive or insubordinate, or, it's viewed differently. So I have had to code switch in the past because obviously you don't want to lose your job. You don't want to look like you're the person that's always angry or, bringing animosity to the table. So you have to kind of dumb everything down and dim your light, per se, to make everybody else feel good. So, yeah.
I agree with her. But the thing about me is, like, I only code switch depending on the situation, depending on who it is. Like, when it comes to my coworkers and my peers, they know me, so my personality to them is already strong. So they already coming at me at like, oh, let me hold on, because I don't hold off on what I say.
Right.
If I need something done, I need it done. There's no in betweens. There's no half stepping. So if it's not corporate in the building that don't know me, because they don't know me, and I don't want them to think that I'm coming off like a bia.
Right.
I am gonna code switch during that time, and that's when I might put my natural self to the side to be able to speak to them professionally, because that's what they expect from me. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not code switching.
All
Right.
right.
Right. I've mostly found that I don't even have the ability to. I will ask them, do you want the truth? I will do my best not to curse at them. And that's the best I can do.
Right.
And I still, to this day, after 14 years of working for the same company, I still get, you're aggressive and you're mean and you're rude and you're this and that internally. But at the same time, they will always tell me, our members love you. They know that you're the best. And I speak to everyone the same way.
Yeah.
I think that
I think that's what the issue is with them.
Oh, sorry, Cheyenne.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I think that it comes up more because we're women.
Right.
And we're women. And so we're expected to have a strong personality.
Right.
So in certain situations, like even going to a restaurant, I have code switch because, of course, if you're at a certain restaurant, you want to look
at them spending your food.
Girl, no, for real. Now that's the real.
That's the real reason.
I want my food to come out right. I don't want no spit in it. You right. I want everything right. And I don't want people looking at upside my head while I'm trying to enjoy my food.
I think as Black women, we already have this image. Like, I know, Cheyenne, with you, you're mixed breed and you have both sides to you. Yes. So I think they may expect more or different from you, but
yes,
you still have a very strong personality. And I think that a lot of the world fear when a Black woman come in to a restaurant or to a business or to anything like that. I think that they automatically is like
Right.
on the edge, like,
Right.
how do I approach this person? How do I deal with this? How do I, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They're instantly on the defensive of
Right.
what's going to happen? What are they going to say?
Right.
What are they going to do?
Right.
When really we're going to say the same things that anybody would say, just
I'm gonna treat you like you
in
treat
our
me.
way. In our way.
Yep.
And then depending on where we're interacting with, a lot of times we as Black women, we let's put a statistic out there. We are leading as most educated in the nation. We are a force to be reckoned with. So they know we coming in, we badass. You
Right.
should be intimidated. However, even though you're intimidated by our credentials, you don't have to be intimidated by us because we have regular personalities and we're friendly and we're approachable. Okay, most is approachable, but they kind of lump us all in the same. Hearing, oh my God, now that I've gotten to know you, you're nothing like I thought. And I don't know, when they say that, they think
Every
that I'm
time.
supposed to think that it's a compliment. But I'm like,
Right.
okay, I'll just leave that alone and just go ahead and take it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I get that all the time. When I look at you, you look so mean. And I'm cool as hell. Now what?
But then when we look at it, we experience these things. What does that do to our self-esteem? How do we internalize these things? What are these interactions with the world, even our peers? And we'll get to that. How is that helping our self-esteem or hurting?
I think it's definitely hurting.
It is hurting.
It's definitely hurting. It makes you feel like you can't be you.
Oh, right.
The you that you're naturally being. I'm in no way intending to ever be rude to people unless you know that's what I'm intending. I am that person when it's necessary. But in general, I'm kind and loving and welcoming and friendly and all of those things. But they will take what you say one time, or take how you say something, how you answered a question that they asked, and then all of the sudden you're just mean. That's it. That's just what you are. So now you're like, oh well, am I mean? It took me into adulthood to know for myself, I'm not mean. I'm not mean. But so many people told me that I was. It actually took for my kids to be adults and for them to tell me, Mom, you're not mean.
I think that when you get to a certain age and a certain place in your life as well, those things don't matter. You know, and you start to really realize that, okay, like you said, I'm not who these people are saying I am.
Right.
I have to figure out who I am as a person. And I need to make sure that I own that, because at the end of the day, we'll continue to take that into our adult life and it's going to hurt us. It will continue to hurt every relationship and every area of our life that we touch.
Right. It definitely makes you second guess. And it comes down to, you have to learn how to talk to a certain person, or you have to learn how to talk to people. So, like certain people, they can handle the real you, but there are certain people that can't.
Right.
But why do we have to, again, going back to that code switching,
we don't have to.
Why do we have to?
We don't have to, we choose to.
But why do we choose to?
Out of respect,
out of respect.
Love. Okay.
Out of how we were raised.
There you go. Because we
didn't have that.
Values. We do have morals.
Right.
We need to.
We got all these. We got all these Karens in the world. They not showing respect. They not doing what we're expected to do. So
Karens,
Karens, Karens and Karens.
Karens. Yeah, I got it.
Well, at the end of the day, Karen doesn't care about how she's viewed. Karen doesn't care, you know, if people like her. Karen is out for herself. At the end of the day, I feel like Black people, that's one thing that we hold very high as well.
Okay.
We have respect for ourselves. Even though some of us don't, you know what I mean, or might have forgotten, we really have a lot of respect for ourselves. We respect our elders.
Yes.
We respect our families. And like you said, code switch.
And Karen's living in a dog eat dog world.
There you go.
And
Right,
with privilege,
that's true.
but there's one thing you said, Linnell, I want to touch on. We as Black people, we really do have respect. If you notice the difference between even our kids, we be looking at like, oh man, if I would have did that in the store, yelled in the store, boop, boop, boop.
Right.
So, you know, we keep it in check.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when we see, you know, of the nationality of kids rolling on the floor, white people, let me just say white people, because that's what it is. It's the white kids.
You just gonna do it. Huh? You just gonna go raw, huh?
I was trying, but I forgot. We raw in here.
We raw. It is what it is. Control your kids when you're in the store, okay? When you come to Lowe's, don't let your kids be in there screaming and hollering at people, okay?
But if we look at it,
have used as an example, had those kids not been running around.
true.
Right.
Hey, I use those children a lot. Like, look at those kids. Act like that. See what happens.
Right, don't we? And we get the speech before we go in.
When we get in this store, don't ask about this. Yeah. Don't touch nothing.
Right.
Behind me. Look.
So how do we heal from these subliminal messages that we experience as Black women and having to code switch and having these preconceived stereotypes against us already? How do we heal from that? Where do we begin to heal? And do you think we as Black women are healing?
I think that is a strong proof. You gotta learn. You gotta teach them to learn how to accept who you are.
Right. And I know a lot of times I'll hear Black women, Black men, anybody say, it's not my job to teach them. It's not my job. But for me personally, I think it is my job. I have a really good friend who is white, blonde hair, light eyes. She knew nothing about anybody of color for years, for most of her life.
Oh,
it was my job because I was the first person that she loved that was of any color for the most part. So it was my job. And then at the same time, it's like, okay, so it's my job to teach her, because if she had no idea, she didn't come from, she came from Reading. So if she comes from a place where that's, where no one knows, they don't know any better or what have you, then it's my job. And so I feel like, why not extend that to anybody else? If you're willing to learn, I'm willing to teach you. And I'm not ever going to be the one that says it's not my job. Now, somebody else might say it's not their job, and that's okay. But you're just making it harder for me. You know what I mean? Because I am
passing on the stereotype.
Yeah, I am. I am going to be that person. And, my kids teach me. I teach other people. I teach them. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're here for. And we shouldn't say just because, well, we're Black, it's not my job to teach them as a white person, XYZ. But if they only know XYZ, who else is going to teach them besides us?
The news,
right? Who else is going?
They're going to show all the bad things about us. The news, you know what I'm saying? So we have to be the ones that we have to step up, and we have to be the change, and that comes with us being who we are respectfully, teaching our kids how to be respectfully, professionally, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. We have to instill it in our kids. This new generation is crazy, though. I don't know.
And that includes teaching them that we may not speak the same.
Exactly.
Just because it comes off like this, that we don't mean any harm. Like, oh, did you
doesn't mean that you're talking white.
Yeah,
that's just or you get that. Or you get that. Oh, you sound white. You talk like you white. What? What is that? Because we all have the same language. Mine's just not under the cover with mine. I'm not under the cover with mine. I'm gonna tell you how I feel.
Right. I think
So now,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. I like it.
I was just going to say, hitting back on what you were asking, how we are going to get back to healing ourselves and making sure that that healing is there. I know the ladies talked about teaching everybody, but also, you know, I am a therapist. I'm gonna say therapy. I mean, it's super, super important.
Yes.
And for
Yes.
a long time in the Black community, you know, we were taught to not, you know, tell our business outside of the house, or that therapy was for white people, or, you know, it just wasn't, we didn't need it. You know, we know how to deal with our problems. We can push through, and that is false. You know, that's why we have mental breakdowns. That's why we have a lot of mental illness within our population, because we weren't taking care of ourselves. So I think times are changing. Well, I know that they are. And we don't only have more Black therapists. We have a lot more Black people going to therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
And the reason that they're going is because they feel safer, and they feel that it's important because their friends are going and their family members are going, and they're
hearing their talk with no judgment.
Black.
And they need to talk with no judgment.
Exactly. And they need to be understood. You know, for a long time, we would go into therapy and be misdiagnosed.
Yeah.
So we go in there, and just because we're stressed out, then, oh, you know, it's suicide, you know, SI, I got to go to 3. But no, maybe I'm just venting and saying, I'm tired today. I don't know if I can take this, because that is something, you know, but if you don't know that, and if you're not knowledgeable about our verbiage, like we have to be knowledgeable of theirs, you're not going to be able to help me. So I think that's something that is contributing now, you know, because more people are going to therapy, and we're just learning, once again, what our topic is about, how to heal, because we're going to therapy. We're healing our neighbors and healing our family members, and learning how to love on ourselves and then love on them, because we don't know how to do that. We can't love on ourselves if we're not healed.
Right. So that was one of the topics that we were discussing. Is which comes first, healing or self-love? But I want to touch on your page, Be Empowered with Lamonti. They had a post that says, it ran wild in my family until it ran into me. Oh my God, that speaks volumes.
Yes, it
does. That
does.
speaks volumes, because that just shows we're breaking general curses, or we're taking our family in a different direction. We're creating a strong legacy. Legacy.
And that's the reason we actually started the show as well, to just speak about our journeys, you know, our generational curses that we have broken, and the things that we want to empower others to be able to do, and to just, you know, once again, like you're saying, heal and love on yourself, because we haven't been able to do that.
We haven't. So what comes first, healing or self-love?
I think self-love.
What's your thoughts on that? Why self-love?
I think self-love. I think
it's
self-love
intertwined.
because I think you have to learn how to love yourself before you can give out any healing to anybody. If you're broken inside, what you gonna give a broken ass message?
True, but if you're not healed, and that's what you're talking about, then you're not gonna be able to love yourself.
It's intertwined.
You have to heal yourself. If you have all this trauma within yourself, and you sitting here acting like you love yourself, that's fake, and we see that every day, all day.
You right. You right. You are right.
But when you you really, really heal, and you know who you are as a person, as an individual, as a woman, as a Black woman, girl, please, that's self-love. That's why people be like, girl, don't get me to preaching on here, because that's what I can't talk about.
I think when I really started to love myself, I was maybe my early 30s, and I'm gonna say maybe 30, 31, and I'm 34 now. I looked at myself and I was like, oh my God, I'm cute.
Girl.
And I was really, really shocked with that because the
Yes.
message that I was receiving from the outside world,
Mhm.
it wasn't positive to me. So when that light bulb went off, like, wow, I am cute as a Black woman.
Right.
I'm not ugly. I
Right.
was. It sounds so small, but it was a big moment for me, and I think that's when I started to shift my perspective. I love my earrings. My clients always call, the ethnic therapist. That's how they ID the ethnic therapist. And then in 2019, I decided to get my locks, y'all. I was like, you know what? I don't care what y'all think. I don't care about corporate America and my hair. I
Mhm.
wanted locks for so many years, but I didn't do it because of the field I was in, the perception
Right.
I needed to portray
Right.
to get clients, or feel like I had to portray that to get clients. So it's for me, I think that self-love started when the light bulb went off, and I couldn't even tell you what it was that made the light bulb go off, to be honest.
Right.
For
Right.
me, I guess I'm a late bloomer. I don't know if I'm the oldest one on here, but I didn't really start to love myself probably until 2 years ago, actually, when I left Bakersfield. And so, because I'm 42 now, I just turned 42. And
Hey, Black don't crack.
Right,
Ever.
but I didn't really start loving myself until I came to Los Angeles, and honestly, until my current job. I got to shout out my job, the Ahmad Institute, Arming Minorities Against Addiction and Disease. It's an all-Black agency. I love them, and they have really, really empowered me and encouraged me to be the best me I can be. It's extremely, man, it's just innovative. It's uplifting. I love going to work. I've never been at a job where we can celebrate Black Chicken Day, with a fried chicken day. So anything we want,
Love it.
anything we want to celebrate. I'm not saying we get it off, but we might go in there and we might fry some chicken, or we eat, or whatever, order some, whatever we want to do, just because that's something that Black people want. We might go in there about hair. We might, and we can't do that in a regular office. We can't go into an office and start talking to somebody about what you use on your hair. Your hair look good today, because ain't nobody
Right.
So
Right.
Can I touch your hair? No, you can't touch my hair. No. Do you know
Thank
how
you.
hard I worked on
Thank you.
this
Now
morning?
that I work with Black people, I'll be like, yeah, one of my
Thank you.
coworkers do my hair, actually.
No.
I want to
Everyone cannot.
one I think it's Wazetta Miller. She says each one of us have a personal responsibility to want to get healing for ourselves.
Right.
There has been so much previous stigma. Some of us just don't know how or where to go. That is so
Very
true.
true.
That is why I started Black Wellness Magazine, so that the information is just there.
Right.
There for it. There's hotlines out there, you guys, that you can call. That's free. There's so many. The help is out there.
Yes.
We need to start breaking down this stigma, because we need to heal. We need to heal.
Right.
There are a lot of different programs popping up, a lot of different shows that I've been noticing. So I really feel like the information is out there now.
Absolutely.
It wasn't out there, but now it's getting out there. And I think people are really, contacting people and really networking and seeing what they can get from it, because it is working.
Right.
Definitely.
It is.
Definitely.
It is. I think one of the things that is helping us come out and start to love ourselves is even more is that whole unfortunate trauma that happened last year.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. Having people speak about things that they wouldn't normally speak about. Having people that you work with. I work with, for the first probably 10 years, I worked with the majority white people. There was one Black woman that worked there before I worked there, and she got fired right after I got hired. And then it was just me. So working with everyone that was white, all of the things that they would say, just, I felt like it was degrading. Don't ask to pet my hair.
Right.
Don't
Right.
asking, what are you? I'm not a dog.
Is it real?
Don't tell me, are you bringing fried chicken to, you know, the thing
potluck.
that we're holding, to the potluck.
Right.
All of those things.
Right.
Right. All of those things. And who are you talking? Who are you able to talk to about these things? Nobody at work.
Right.
Nobody. So yeah, there's not an outlet all of the time.
It's not. At my
Lorraine
last
said,
job,
let them touch your hair.
And then when you tell them not to, they're kind of offended.
Right.
No.
Right.
You have a new hairstyle. I'm like, oh my God, I thought you was a new person. I'd be like, I'm the only black person at work here. What other new person would there be? Oh my God.
No, it was me.
Oh my.
No, but why did they hire somebody that was black? Her skin tone is about Bree's. How come we're the same person? Why are we always the same? We don't look alike. And we don't even have the same skin tone. We just both have curly hair and happen to be of some sort of color. They're like, I told you this morning. First of all, I wasn't here this morning. You must have been talking to her. First of all, you weren't talking to me. You were talking to her because I wasn't here. So yeah, it wasn't not the easiest.
Being the only black person and then the only black woman in my several jobs when I worked at Cap K, when I worked for the district, I was the only black, and I had been the only one for years.
I feel it.
5+ years. And then when my previous one, I was the only one for like 10 years. And it's like, it's almost like, why?
Right. Where the rest of us at?
Right. Where was everyone?
When we got a black teacher, I was like, oh my God, we got a black teacher. We're hiring a black teacher.
No, that's how it is. I was so excited when they hired a black girl. I was like, oh, they're not going to hire her, are they? I was like,
I got somebody to go to lunch with. Hey, girl. But you gotta act like you really can't be with them too much. You gotta be around the corner, and then we're gonna go to lunch. Because if we go together, then it's
go at separate times.
Get tired.
This is funny, but it's truth. It's unfortunate truth.
Right. Right. At least we know other people experience it and come together and know we weren't crazy. That is how people felt.
Yes.
That is how it was.
To have these spaces to talk about these things, to normalize it.
Right.
Because this as well is going to bring healing. This as well is going to help somebody that may be scared to go get therapy or doesn't have anybody to talk to or feels like they don't have the resources. They can just come watch us and, listen and try to figure out what it is, because at the end of the day, we all learn differently. We all need different things.
Right.
So we're going to take things differently. So maybe this might be the platform that they need to be able to get the healing or hear that message that they
Lorraine said they automatically sign you up to bring fried chicken.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know. I'm about to snitch on myself, y'all. I'm about to snitch. Don't judge me, okay?
Here you go.
I do not like frying black chicken.
What's black chicken? So I
don't know. I misspoke. I don't like frying chicken, y'all. I don't like it. It's too messy. It's too greasy.
It smells up the house.
You do oven fried chicken? That's what you
say?
say?
Yeah.
She put it in the air fryer.
That's Bree.
No. That ain't disappointed. Yeah, me too.
I'm disappointed.
I'm glad because I am too.
No, I'm disappointed.
Girl, that ain't no real chicken.
She said, Crystal Kindred said, new person. I'm the only black girl that work here. I hear that all the time at my job. Yeah,
well, because she always cute and always got her hair done differently. So they probably do be asking her if she a different person because she do switching it up, girl. You do be switching it up.
Or
It's
is
okay
that
to
your
switch up
hair?
sometimes.
It is okay.
They will definitely do that.
But they know that too.
Show your workplace that you got different personalities, even if it's in your hair. You switch it up. Be like, I can be professional today. I can be Shanquita today. I can be who you need me to be, because I'm going to be a whole lot of people, but I'm going to do it for you. You can show your workplace that, and they respect you a whole lot more. They respect you a whole lot more. So switch up that hair, girl.
No, Tashana didn't say that. No, Tashana didn't.
Yes, I'm gonna bring that up. Tashana, yes.
We're gonna talk
Bring
about
up Tashana.
that.
Tashana, thank you, Tashana. I agree, Auntie said the smell gets in your clothes, hair, and your hair, and all of it. Yes.
So I'm gonna make sure
Thank
that
you,
y'all
Jesus.
tune in Saturday to get empowered with Lamati, because we're gonna dissect that. We're gonna talk about that chicken.
Disappointed.
What?
Not correctly.
Gotta fry
You have to fry it correctly.
You gotta
Cast
fry
iron.
it with some fresh grease, open your windows, fry that chicken up, you be good. Don't leave that old grease in there, you won't have that smell.
No, if I fry anything in my house, I'm closing up my closet doors, my room doors. I'm opening up the front door. I'm opening up the back door. I'm opening up everything, because I don't want that in my clothes. I don't want to go smell like fried chicken and be in the statistic.
Right, but we gonna still fry
when I don't
it.
work.
But you're gonna still fry it though. But you're gonna still
Okay,
fry
right.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna fry it. Yeah, I'm gonna fry it.
That's what I'm saying though. That's all I'm saying.
Now, Ashley Johns brings up y'all, we about to go deep with this one. What about when you're the token Black person?
I've been look. And that's why I talk like this.
Right. Then you put your other hat on, Ashley. Then you put your other hat on and you just deal with it, and you just try to be as respectful and as professional as you can be. I am a manager, and I'm only, there's one other Black manager, and she just got hired last year. But I was the token Black person at my job for 8 years. And I had to put on a different hat. Sometimes you just got to put on a different hat. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Because you got to show them that you can be who they need you to be if somebody important comes in, or if they need you to, this is your workplace at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you're not going to be who you are at home compared to who you are at work. Put on that different hat.
I agree with Bree, but I also feel like wearing those different hats is preparing you for something greater. So when you're able to navigate those different situations, and you're able to step back sometimes and, just let people be who they are, that means that it's setting you up for something. You might own your own business. You might start something, because once again, when you get your own business, you have to deal with different people. Exactly. You may have a business partner that you really don't like, but they got that money. So you need to put on a happy face and learn how to engage with individuals that you don't like, because we're not going to always work with people that, we like. So I think that is something that we really need to think about as well. Everything is a learning experience. So you don't have to be there forever, but it's teaching you something. So just take whatever it's teaching you and run with it.
Right. And I think at the same time, so I think they appreciate when you are who you are. There are people that appreciate who you are. I worked for a CEO, and everyone else was always very, hi, good morning, how are you? Hi. And I'm just like, hey, what's up?
What up? What up?
He always asked me about the kids. He always asked me, how was I doing? And, he remembered the things that I had told him months before about my life when he asked me. So I didn't have to be different. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Oh, you need that? Okay, yeah, I can get that for you. But never in a, oh my God, I can't get it for you. I'm so sorry.
Right.
And then people would say, oh, well, he needs it right now. Okay, well, right now I'm doing this, but I'm gonna get it in a minute.
Right.
And I just go to him and just say that. And I feel like he always appreciated that I was just who I was. I was not who they thought I should be or who they were. in
Yeah.
general.
Yes.
She brought
And,
up a good thing. She said the
but
expectation is crazy.
I
Did
want
you
to point
feel
on
like
that.
Cheyenne, did you feel like with that supervisor or boss of yours, your expectation was a little different? Because I can attest to the expectation being absolutely ridiculous and having to perform at that level day in and day out.
Right.
Right.
And that's why I just won't do it.
Oh,
I just
yeah, you
don't.
did.
It's exhausting. I just won't do it. The only thing that I'm willing to do is not curse as much because I'm horrible. I do. I mean everything, every other word. I'm the worst. I know I am. But that's all, I have to make a conscious effort to and hold it in. Other than that, I'm just like, do you want this or not? I will to this day tell the same people, do you want me to tell you what I really think or not? When they ask me, they're asking me in a professional way. And I tell them, do you want to know? Or are you looking for something that maybe I'm not the right person you should ask? Because I'm going to give you the truth. I'm going to
Right.
tell you flat out and I'm going to tell you my way. I can't say it your way unless you're now saying to me, I want you to say it their way. For one moment, I want you to say it their way. But I always ask because they know that they're going to get everything that they want if they just let me be me. Just let me say it the way I need
And
to
that's
say it.
and that's what I'm saying. Is the expectation crazy because you're amazing and they know that you can handle it, or is the expectation crazy because you're black and they want to try to wean you out because you can't handle it, or they want to try to put somebody else in a situation? You have to look at it like that too. Like you might be killing it because my job coming to me.
This lady that comment on the Miss Johns, she kills it. She kills it.
But
I work
that's
here.
why the expectation is great. You have to take that as a compliment. Like, oh, they know I'm gonna take care of this, so let me just go ahead and do what I do and move
Right.
on because I got this.
But what if it's a day that you are exhausted from doing what you do? We black women, yes, we are super women, but we also need a day of rest as well.
Well, that's where
Yeah.
you set those boundaries.
Okay.
Everybody on here, I believe, is very vocal. So we know how to say, you know what, I need a day. I'm not doing this. It's an admin day. And
Right.
Right.
if you haven't gotten to that place, then that's something that you would need to work on
Right.
because you have to have, that's a part of self-love, self-care. You
Yeah.
have
Right.
to have those days. You have to.
Right.
It sometimes feels as though taking those, we're not allowed to be weak. It's it, people, oh, you're so strong, you got this, or you're strong, you can handle it. How many times do us black women hear that when really it's like, no, I'm not strong, I'm breaking down, I'm having a mental fuck in my head. I need somebody to take over because we are actually expected and seen in many lights, multifaceted across, even with our family members, especially if we display that we're strong. It's that expectation, even outside of work, it's within our own family.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to know yourself enough to be able to say that to people. You have to be able to say to your family, your coworkers, whoever it is, I'm having a day.
not okay today.
I'm having a day.
I'm not okay
today.
today.
I'm not okay today, and I feel like I'm going to cry. I feel for whatever reason. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to cry, and I don't even know why. Like I don't even know why. Like nothing's wrong. Like, why do I feel like I want to cry for the past 3 days? Why do you feel like that? You have to be able to tell them, right? Right. And now I know that. See, now I know. So when I get the feeling, I now know myself enough to know, okay, I might not know what's wrong. I'm thinking about it. What is wrong? I don't know, but I know that there's something wrong. So let's think about it more. So, but you have to at least be able to tell your family rather than popping off at them.
Yes.
Hey, not just your family, though. Not just your family, your coworkers too. You have to be able to tell. I had to tell my boss just last week, look, don't come back here messing with me because I am not in the mood.
Right.
And they literally didn't come back there and mess with me the whole day. But you have to tell yourself that. And you're going to have moments where you probably, the worst moments is when you're alone. When you're by yourself and you're in your own head. That's when we need Linnell. That's when we need to just be able to pick up the phone and call Linnell and be like, hey, I'm having a day. Let's talk through this.
After hours, but 8 to 5.
That's it.
Yeah. Knowing your limits is important.
Right.
Yeah.
What do
Knowing
we
your
do?
limits is important.
What advice would we give those women out there who don't know the boundaries or who don't know how to stop being superwoman? Or how do we send a message to them that's saying it's okay? It's okay to not be superwoman today.
It's okay to go get in your shower and cry and come out and wipe that shit up like you are got to move on. It's okay to drive down the street and shed your tears and cry, and when you pull up to your house, you wipe that shit up and move on. It's okay to be that person. I'm that person. I'm that person.
I'm that person too. I cry in the shower. I cry in the car. I might cry at work. They know me. I'm a crybaby. I cry.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So at the end of the day,
right.
I will bust a tear right now if y'all want me to. I cry.
On demand.
Right.
So Linnell, what do you do to love yourself? How do you show yourself self-love?
Well, like I said, for me, I do go to therapy. I have no problem saying that. I definitely needed it. I didn't know I needed it because once again, in the community, it's always said that we don't need it. I was always told I was strong. I had been through a lot and I felt like, hey, I'm determined. I'm resilient. I can do this. I don't need to go talk to nobody, because I'm listening to everybody else. And once again,
ain't nothing wrong with you.
Exactly, And at the end of the day, what really made me go to therapy actually was when I tried to get licensed, and they did not want to give me my license because of my past. So they made me go to therapy to make sure I was fit to be a therapist. So it really helped me in hindsight. And that's why one of my favorite sayings is everything happens for a reason. Because if they would not have made me go, I would have never gone. And I'm just going to be honest. And the fact that I have been going, I that's why I said I love myself now. I really, really love myself. I've dealt with a lot of things that I thought I had already healed from, but I have really just kind of compartmentalized everything and put them, on the back burner. And I have now really dealt with those things so they don't bother me. And I'm not walking around with fake self-love, acting like, I love myself because I am healed. Not all the way, because nobody's perfect, but I feel like if you get the right therapist, it's amazing.
Right. Amazing. And it helps to be aware.
Yes, I want to point on that, Linnell. A lot of people say, I went to therapy and, I didn't fit with them, or they did this, or they said this, or they said that.
Keep going.
Therapy is right. It's like friends. If that friend is rude, you're not going to stop making friends. You're going to try to acquire more. Therapy is the same way. Because they turn you off, go to another one. They are good ones. There are great ones. There are phenomenal therapists out there. Keep going until you find it, because again, I agree with Linnell. Therapy is healing. Therapy is self-love, because you're taking care of yourself to make sure that what you don't process, you pass on without even knowing.
Yes.
And then you're not holding things in, because when you're holding things in is when you explode.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And although you may feel like therapy is not working, you're talking to someone and you're getting that off your chest. Right. And you're not holding it in. So it feels better. Even though you may not feel.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to repeat the same thing. Even if you don't feel like it's not working, it is. Yeah. Because you're not holding it in.
That's why people talk in general. No matter who they're talking to, that's why people vent. That's why they call their friends. That's why. That's why they say it. So it makes sense. That's exactly why. I mean, I know that there's certain people that I go to that don't always agree with me. They're the reason that I go to them, because I know that no matter what, they're not afraid to say, first of all, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Right.
First of all, you were the one who messed up. You were the one who did this. You should apologize. They don't have a problem saying that to me. And those are the people that I go to, because I don't go to people. I don't go to my friends or, family members or what have you for them to agree with me.
Right.
I want them to tell me their honest opinion. That's why I ask them. If I call Bree with a situation and tell her something and I'm wrong, it doesn't matter what I say to her. If she thinks I'm wrong, she's going to tell me, you wrong. Yeah. You're just wrong.
Miss Wazetta Miller said, whatever we don't deal with in the beginning will come out later with a vengeance. And it does.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Now
you're gonna blow up. You're gonna blow up on somebody, and then it's gonna be all bad, and then you're gonna either lose a friend or lose a coworker or lose somebody that you could have potentially talked to about whatever was going on, and they could have potentially helped you or helped you look at it in a different situation.
Right.
Lorraine said, I keep making the therapist need therapy.
I was laughing.
I think now let's we go ahead and transition this on to Black women on Black women and how we treat each other.
Oh.
Yeah, we going there.
Mm-hmm.
I am not your enemy.
I'm your friend.
We can love each other.
Do you think society pins us against each other? Or do you think we're doing that on our own? Or could
I
it
think
be a
they're doing it on their
combination of
own.
both?
I think it's a combination of both. Yeah.
I think it's both.
Yeah, there's definitely a combination of both.
Yeah.
And just and history as well.
Yeah.
For me, being mixed is not the same as it is for Linnell being darker skin, because somebody that's Black, especially a female, looks at me like I don't have issues. And because I'm light, or they think, oh well, you don't know. But if you go to the other end of the spectrum, someone who's white, they look at me and they see this hair and they're like, well, she's just Black.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what angle it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the middle of, okay, well, are you treating me this way because I'm just who I am? Yeah, you are. You are, and that's what I have to deal with from my side. And of course, when you're younger, you try to laugh it off, and you get used to it. But then as you get older, I am the first woman to tell every woman, you look pretty. I like your hair.
Me too.
That outfit is banging.
Me, all the time. I do it all the time because no one ever did it to me.
Right.
Nobody. I didn't grow up in a place where I looked like anybody else at all whatsoever. I was the only person of any type of color that wasn't Mexican. So everybody was Mexican or everybody was white, and me. Here's me. This is what I look like. I'm definitely not Mexican, and I'm definitely not white. And they're like, what? So no one ever told me that growing up. So I made a point to tell everybody. To this day, I tell everybody, I'm the girl at the club. Ooh, girl, you are looking fired.
Ashley John says, you better preach Shanadana.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, and people aren't like that. And their first face that they give me is not a smile, but I'm going to smile at you, and I'm going to give you a compliment to make you smile back at me, because I want you to know that I'm not against you.
Right.
And you shouldn't be against me.
Right.
And that's it. And it's just off of looks. It has nothing. Nobody knows each other.
Right.
It's literally based off of looks. If I walk up and I see you or walk past and the face is, oh, I like your shirt.
Oh, kill them with kindness, girl. Kill them with kindness.
And they smile. They instantly, their wall comes down and they no longer want to scowl at you for
for no reason at all.
Right. Generational trauma as well. people generationally putting things down. Because like you said, with you being mixed or light skinned and I'm dark. So I've had a different experience. Well, similar experience,
but it's different
on the spectrum, and for me, I didn't get a lot of things because I was dark. I wasn't allowed a lot of places because I'm darker. And a lot of the time, the reason I'm viewed as being, aggressive is because I'm dark. And they just view me as, I'm a black, the original black woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so for a long time, that was a part of my healing and why I had a lot of fake self-love because I felt I wasn't loved, so I didn't know. I was just like, well, I'll be smart. That was my thing. I'm gonna just be smart because since I'm not I'm pretty, I'm gonna be smart. And that's not, you know what I mean? So that was my thing. So I was always smart and I was always in school. But at the end of the day, today, I'm like, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm everything. So I really don't care what anyone else thinks.
Right.
But it took me 40 years to get to that place.
Yes.
It's sad. That's really sad that it has to take that long.
Right.
To ourselves or love ourselves because we're not doing it within our community. We're not.
Right. And I'm dealing with that right now. I mean, like, with me losing my hair and all that other stuff, I come in and I'm like, God, I wish I can put some braids in this mess. Or I was just like, I'm fighting my own giants inside, trying to make sure that I can please everyone else out in this world. And I still, even to this day, I can't wait. If a girl look at me up and down, I'm like, girl, you popping. And she gonna be like, oh, thank you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to compliment them because ain't no telling where they came from. Ain't no telling who's telling them whatever. Ain't no telling who told them that they probably got some man in their life that's telling them don't nobody want them but them. Don't nobody, you know what I'm saying? So it's up to us to make sure that everybody knows you beautiful in your own little way.
Right. There's always something. There's always something that you can say to somebody.
Compliment your shoes. I don't care. Your eyelashes pretty.
Always.
Right.
You look at your eyes, girl. I don't care.
Ray brings up a good point though. When we're complimented, do we really embrace that? Oh, you're beautiful.
I do.
Like,
I do.
Do we?
I do.
In general, do we as Black women embrace those compliments? Because I can say, I'm in my relationship right now. He comes out the blue and says, "Oh, you're beautiful," and I'm got this bonnet on my head, and I was like, "Are you just programming yourself to say that?"
No.
I'm like, I find myself doing that.
Yeah,
My husband do the same thing, and I'll be like, "Stop it." I literally look like Little Bill right now. Stop playing with me.
I think that's something that we're all working on. We're all working on it, and as we start to compliment others, I think we will embrace that, and that's why we probably do it a lot.
Right.
Because I feel like with all of us saying these things, and it's overlapping, and we're sounding the same. We're embracing others and complimenting others because we know that we might struggle a little bit with somebody telling us. So for us to be able to get more comfortable with it as well, let's go ahead and shoot it out and let's everybody just tell everybody so that way everybody's beautiful. We are wonderful.
Right.
We're all
exactly.
And I think a lot of times things like that mean more coming from a stranger.
It does.
Like that. Because I mean, my kids tell me all the time. I tell them, my fiance tells me all the time, "Oh, you're gorgeous, beautiful, I love you." But when a complete stranger, not of the opposite sex, says it, it just feels different. And that's why I do it. That's why and there has been a couple times where I've said it to a male just because something about that person just looked like your whole outfit is on fire.
Right.
And I've said that before. I don't want them, it's on my passing, it's not any type of conversation starter. But if somebody looks nice, I'm going to tell them. And I know that it stems from nobody told me. Nobody. Nobody ever told me until I was, an adult. So it's important. I know
Why do you
that's
think
important.
we're hearing these things or starting to? Why are we not hearing these things when we're younger? What's that barrier like?
Because our parents,
What is that barrier?
because our parents was too busy teaching us respect and how to grow up in the world. They wasn't teaching
Now
us
that
that we were beautiful, and they were teaching us how to deal with the world.
survival mode.
To survival
Yeah, that's what I was
mode.
gonna
Yeah.
say. We've been in survival mode this whole time. We weren't
Yeah.
thriving.
Mm-hmm.
And for
that's
me, I didn't have anybody of color in my household
Oh.
because I was raised by a single white mother.
okay.
Mhm.
So for me, me and my brother are the only ones that are mixed. I have lots of other siblings. They're all white, blonde hair, light colored hair, straight. So for me, there was no one. There was no one to even say anything like that. Yeah, my mom said, "Oh, your hair's so beautiful." But my mom took this mess. My mom took this hair and she brushed it dry and then told me how beautiful it was at age 8. I hated it. I cried. I hated it. And I hated it for years because she was doing what she thought was best. But that wasn't what was best for
For you.
me. Because
Right.
again, it's different for me. If you're Black and you live in a household with a Black mother, at least, maybe a Black aunt, possibly a Black anybody that knows what to do for you, it's slightly different.
Right.
And
Right.
you would think, oh, as a mother, she would learn or know or, something.
Find
But
a
she
friend.
didn't.
Phone a friend. Something.
I knew that she knew. As a young child, but old enough, it was like in my head, I'm like, she's got to know because she was with Black people. Like she grew up with Black people. She had an afro at one point. She used to brag about it all the time. But
That
yet
don't mean
she
they
never
know.
knew what to do for me.
Right.
So that made me feel like I wasn't pretty. I was different. And I was different from everyone. So, everyone where I lived, and yeah, there was other places in the world, but I was poor. I wasn't going to those other places in the world. So for me, I was like the ugly duckling. And that's the way I felt for so long that when I got to a point where I was like, wait a minute, I think I'm actually pretty.
Right.
Right. I think that I might be pretty.
Right.
And it was just like, oh, I'm telling everybody they're pretty. I'm telling the people on the street. I'm telling all of them.
Because this feels good. Because this feels good.
Yeah.
Right. It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Yes, it does.
Right.
Yeah.
It does. And I want other people to feel what
Good.
it took me so long to
Right.
feel. I want anytime. I tell little girls, they're little and I see their hair and it's just, ooh, ooh. And I just tell their mom, I'm like, oh, I have hair just like them. You could, especially if I see somebody that's white, with a little mixed set of children. I said, oh, I have this brush. You should get it. I pull it up on my phone and we're friends now. I'm like, this is what you can do. And I help them because obviously no one was helping my mom. You know what I mean? Like, nobody was telling her anything.
I have gone to the point, like when customers come into my store and you can tell they adopted a little Black kid or whatever, and their hair is all like nappy looking. I'd be like, you know what? I don't like braiding, but here's my phone number. Yeah, here's my number. Feel free to call me whenever. I'm gonna take care of the babies. Because they might not have that person, and they might not feel good with coming to a Black person like, can you help me with this hair? Because the hair is different. The hair is 100% different.
And I always would just use my own experiences so that they don't think that I'm judging them. I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm judging them. I say, when I was little, my mom didn't do anything with it. She didn't know how. And it made me sad when I was little. So I want to show you this if you're willing to listen. I just did it the other day. There were 2 white moms with lots of little brown children that looked a wreck. And their hair was everywhere. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe they don't belong to them, maybe. But then somebody said, Mommy, So then I was like, oh, they do. Okay, perfect. And I was like, hi, you don't know me. But I talk to everybody. Everybody's my friend. That's just the way I am.
Right.
I get that from my mom. I'm like, hi, you don't know me. This is the brush to brush out her hair. And it would really, have you ever seen this before? And it works really well.
Right.
And I told them all about it. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah. What's that link? And what's this? And what's that? And I just hope that they go home and use
And
it.
actually
about
do
the girl
it.
that told
And
them,
actually do it, yeah.
you know.
So they're not messing up their kids from a young age. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. When I worked at the county, I was in the adoption. I was subbing in the adoption area, the clerk, and I heard a mother yell at the foster parent because she shaved the little girl's head bald because she said the hair kept breaking the combs, so I shaved it so it can grow back straighter. I mean, this mom was livid and sitting there. I was like holding the desk and say, Tisa, this your job. This your job. Don't help the mama beat her down. I was just, it's.
I would have been livid too. I ain't even gonna lie.
That wasn't even my kid, and I was livid.
Right.
I would have been livid too, because you could have phoned a friend. There's a lot of you could have Googled. You could have even called the biological mother and been like, "Hey, look, I know we got a situation right now, but I need you to help me understand how you maintain their hair or something." People act like they can't reach out to people. Ask for help. It's okay. And that comes with everything. You got to just ask for help.
But people won't.
It's okay to ask for help.
That's why I just give it. There's like my family, they're like, maybe people don't want to hear from you. Maybe people don't want your opinion. Maybe people, I don't care. Because some of the people probably don't. But there's obviously some people that do. There's some people that do, because I know if that was me and my kid was running around looking busted because I didn't know what to do with it. And someone said, hey, there's this thing that you can use, and there's this gel, and there's this, and there's this, that. I would be like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, great. Because as an adult, when people say, hey, I use this, I use that, whatever, I'm like, oh, let me try it. I'm going to try it. My daughter came up with this new brush that I had never seen, and I love it.
It's the one like this?
Yeah. Yep.
My brother has one too.
Love it. I have 5. And I found one with a handle with a rubber grip. So now it doesn't slip out of my hand. I'm in heaven. Okay? I'm in heaven.
Exactly, Lorraine. There's too many hair shops for her hair to just choose to cut the baby hair. You are absolutely right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So looking back on that, I wonder what that baby was feeling inside, and if now that we know that we need to heal as Black women and start developing self-love within ourselves, how could we develop that self-love? Where do we begin with loving ourselves? Where does that even start?
And our children.
Is there a point where it starts? Okay.
And our children.
Yeah. Yes. And I couldn't, once again, going to therapy helps me to work on my relationships with my children as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the things that I had been through with my mother, I did not realize, we say, oh, I don't want to be like her or whatever, but, I had to a lot of those traits. So I had to learn how to interact with my children differently.
Yes.
And I really needed to listen instead of talking at them, because my daughter was at that age where, she was an adult. So I needed to stop talking at her as well.
Right.
And then also just letting her know that I had been through something. So I actually had to apologize and let them know I wasn't at a place where, I could give you everything that you probably deserved or wanted, but I did the best that I could at that time.
Right.
But now I'm at a different place in my life, and I am able to give you the things that you need if you're willing. We can work on our relationship and we can move forward. So those are the things that I have been doing in that I've implemented within my own life. But once again, you know, just for someone that, I mean, I am a therapist, so I'm trying to follow the things that I'm telling people. But for someone
Right.
that doesn't know and that is not familiar, it is going to be difficult.
Right.
And they're going to really have to do some soul searching and figure out who they are, because most of
Yes.
the time when we're dealing with these things as well, we don't know who we are as an individual.
We don't.
So that's where we need to start. And once they
Yeah.
find out who they are as a person, then they'll be able to build on that.
Right. I agree.
So ladies, we are going to start closing out. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for having this raw conversation with us. Know that you are beautiful and you are loved. And if you are a Black woman, you are already it, because Black girl magic
Yes.
shines through any and every single one of us. So
Yes.
I want you guys to stay safe, stay blessed, and know you're a queen.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you for having
Yes,
me.
yes.
I enjoyed it. Cheyenne agreed.
Yeah.